days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
Okay, so let's get to the Electoral College, right? We had Professor Lichtman on a few weeks ago, kind of breaking down. I think it was before President Biden stepped down, and it were, he has these. Oh, it was immediately after. Thank you, Smiz. So there were these markers, and when he left, I felt even more optimistic because but for the Gaza Strip situation and what's happening there, everything is still leaning in her favor. And I'm seeing states that were not in play, like Florida, North Carolina, which was always kind of purple, looks like it's leaning hard in. What are you seeing statewise?
Absolutely. So, this whole time, if you guys remember previous appearances here, I talked about the conflicting signals that we were getting. We had polling all year that, showed the electorate, I mean, as fair or not, did not want Joe Biden to run based on the, the age issue. And that's because they don't know his accomplishments. And so it's this thing, that they know. And, but at the same time, we were seeing a persistent advantage for Trump in that national aggregate polling. And that was translating when he got down to the swing states to him leading the blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, modest leads, but leading, and then more than margin of the error leads in places like Arizona and Georgia and a lot of the polling, right? That was a huge issue. But what I would comfort people on was, well, number one, the polling really won't matter until Labor Day. And two, we've had bad polling through 22 as well, but the Dobbs energy showed up. I mean, on the map where we've met in swing contest, our record has been excellent since Dobbs was overturned. So I was like, what do you do? Like, you got this one thing that polling has consistently been wrong, right? And you've got these hard data points. Well, now we're out of that. We don't have that problem. Now we have, and we're gonna have this polling, modest but steady polling advantage. And we know that on the field with the hard data where we've met in these swing maps since 22, we've done really well. And because of that, the swing state, the blue wall states are now advantage Kamala. And I think they're going to stasis about 2-3 points, there. And we're seeing instead Arizona and Georgia, which were really looking not great, get into that competitive range. Trump is up 1 or 2 points instead of 6 points, right? And so the map is expanding. And like I said, the Democrats, I'm trying to push them along into a posture. We were in a defensive posture. Can we even hold the seats we have, pick up 5 House seats? I mean, holding on the Senate was going to be massively difficult. And then there was, really a 50-50 on the presidential. Now we're in a position where I feel good, like we have an advantage at the presidential level. And so we should see an expanded map. We should see conversations about Rick Scott's Senate seat down in Florida. It's very frustrating to me because he is so vulnerable. And, we have to convince, it's not the DNC, it's not Jamie you have to convince. Jamie loves Florida, he wants to invest in Florida. It's the Senate donors that power these big campaigns. We have to convince them it's worth putting money in to elect Debbie down there and get Rick Scott out. I mean, that's me the easiest pick.
Debbie Powell.
One would be Texas.
Okay, Texas. I feel like Texas is such I love Texas. I'm probably going to be in Texas next year. I'm planning on a trip there. I'm Colin Allred was on the show. And now he seems to be fumbling the ball. Feels like maybe he doesn't want to win. He's not doing media he should be doing. His campaign is weird right now. I don't understand what he's doing. He's got a shot, right? He has a legitimate shot. And as you mentioned, Texas is another state. Texas has more African Americans than any state in our union. Now, of course, Mississippi has more per capita, but physical numbers, but they've cracked and packed that state into oblivion. But if every person showed up with a soul and a heart, that state could also look to turn the tide. Oh my goodness. All right. Smiz, we got to get Miss how do you say her last name? Debbie Carcel?
Marcel Powell.
Marcel. Oh, it looks like Marcarcel.
I know. I think
Marcel
I'm saying
Powell.
it right.
Okay. All right. Well,
Someone,
let's see if
I'm
we
sure
get her
a
on.
listener's going to correct us both right now,
Because it's the first time, Rick Scott has name, he was governor, he was senator, he's got name recognition. He looks like the Crypt Keeper or Jim Carrey's Fire Marshal Bill. I don't know what's happening there, why people still want to show up. Don't engage. Rachel, don't get involved in my shenanigans. Rachel Bitecofer is here. She's got a book, Hit 'em Where It Hurts. It feels like they're hurting right now. It feels like they've been hit.
Yes, they are,
hurts, ma'am.
Yeah, I think we're seeing this, like Trump's, I mean, here's the thing. I put this out of my blog, The Cycle and Substack. I just put this new update yesterday or the day before. And I talked about Trump, like Trump's mental status hasn't been great, all 2 years. But the thing he always had, like his baby baba, was the rally. They would organize a rally for him. He'd go, he'd feed off the crowd. He'd stand there for 2 hours and rant and rage, and they'd all worship him, and he would get recharged. Well, Kamala has taken that away from him, right? Like now, if he holds a rally, it might be what happened in Atlanta, where we are able to put pictures up that show her attendance versus his, and she's beating him. And these are stupid things. I mean, it is a proxy for enthusiasm. I'm not saying that the rallies don't matter, but it's stupid. It's a Donald Trump stupid thing to be focused on whether his rally size is bigger than someone else. He's such a baby, right? But because he is a baby and that is his focus, it has really, really undermined him, because the thing that he's always had has been stripped from him. And we're kind of seeing him spin out of control.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the close.